So welcome back. In today's video, we are going to look at a special data type called enumeration, in short term referred to as enum. So what is an enum? So an enum is represented by a word called enum in Java. So what is an enum? An enum simply is a special data type used to define a fixed set of values or used to define a fixed set of constant values. Let me say you want to, you have multiple here down. Let me say you have multiple final values. Let me say final, then I can create final string. Let me say name. No, let me say like name. Okay, name is equal to this colon. You have multiple final statements or multiple final constants. This can be hectic at times, creating each and every time you create a new variable. This can be so hectic. So in Java, we can represent this into an enum. Simply, an enum is a class. Yeah, an enum is a class. So if you want to represent this, or if you have other predefined options, let me say variables, let me say variables, methods, and other things, you can use what we call enum. So instead of using multiple final static statements, we can use what we call an enum. So how is an enum? How does an enum work? So you can say enum. So let me say you're having in other programming languages, simply an enum is represented by constants or constants, but in Java specifically, enums are simply objects. So you can have an enum of product status. So simply use cases of enums at times is, let me say you are creating your objects, and in your objects you're having a special key, and the special key having multiple options. You can use an enum. So let me give you an example. A product, let me say you are building an e-commerce system. A product can have a product status. Inside the product status, you can find that the product can be in a pending state, and an ongoing state, and the shipping state. So instead of uh, defining them one by one, you can use enums to define a group of static constraints. So in this case, a product can be ongoing, ongoing. A product can be a pending state, pending. Product can be in a shipping state. A product can be in a delivered, delivered, delivered state. So something like this. Your product, let me first remove this. Your product can be in all these can have all these statuses, the ongoing, the pending, the shipping, and the delivered. So how do you use them? You come here down, you use the data type. In this case it's called product status. I can give it a name like product status. In this case is equal to, let me say I want to access one. I can say product status, being that this is an object, product status dot, let me say I want to access ongoing. So like this, you can do something like this. System out product status. Yeah, something like this. I can run this Java and main.java, run and compile. You will see that I'm able to access the ongoing status simply by using the dot notation, being that we are dealing with objects. Yeah, let me say I want to access the pending. Say dot pending. You see that I'm able to access the pending status inside my enum. So if you have a group of constraints, or if you have a group of methods, you can also use methods. You can also use variables inside. So enum, let me say you're having a group of things. You can the use case can be the use of enum. So this case, let me say I want to get the indexes of these items that I'm having inside my enum, my product status enum. I can use what we call the can come down here, say dot. Let me say I want to access the indexes of this pending one, this pending item inside my enum. I'll use the keyword called ordinary. So in this case, when I try to compile and run, you see that I'm able to access one, being that the pending status is on the index of 1. When we count, we begin from 0, 1, 2, 3. Let me say I want to access the index of delivered. I'll do the same thing. You can see that I'm able to access the 3. So what if I want to access all the items in my enum? So there, we shall use what we call the dot, and we shall use what we call the values. So something like this. We shall use what we call the values. But you can see that they are saying type mismatch cannot convert from product status to product status, which is an array, to product status, meaning this is returning an array, meaning this, because this means we are creating a single type for this list here. But here dot values returns an array, meaning this has to be of type product status of type array. So in this case, let me try to print out this. We see what is going to happen when I try to print out product statuses. I can change the name. I can refer to this as product statuses, something like this. And now let us see. You see that we are able to get a string. I already explained why you get strings here in this case. So a weird number, you can check out that video. So here, now how do we access items into an array? So there we can use an advanced for loop. So I will say for inside here, I'm trying to access a single item in the product status type, something like this. So in this case, I'm trying to access, let me say, item 1, items of item, something like this. So in this case, I will say product status. Okay, I'm having issues here. This has to be product status, but we are having mismatches in this case. Instead, I can say I'm referring to as product statuses, which is an array in this case. But this has to be capital. Sorry, the enum being that it is a class, it has to be capital. Yeah, this is of type product status, accessing the product status, accessing a single item. Now in the single items, which is here up, we are trying to access the product status. So in this case, I can print out each item in a new line and say print out item. So I can first comment out this, try to run again, and you see that we are able to access the ongoing, pending, shipping, and delivered. But with the help of the advanced for loop, we use these data types. Here we access a single item, but we are referring this item, or the items we want to access are the product statuses in this case. So we are having access to a single item, and we are able to print out each on a new line. So that's simply the product, or that's simply what we refer to as an enum. Simply an enum, you can, if let me say you're having multiple predefined options, let me say variables, simple methods, you can use enum. So thank you.